Welcome to day 3 of Tony Hawktober. You know, American Wasteland has an interesting place in my heart, as it's the earliest memory I have of seeing a video game advertisement on TV. I normally found out about games through magazines at the time. Promoted as an open world experience with no loading screens, I was super hyped up to try it, and I've played through it countless times. So, why is it interesting? Because I've been waiting some long fucking years to finally expose the first nail in this franchise's coffin. THAW was released in 2005 on all of the systems, including being featured as a launch title for the Xbox 360. And I'm sure you remember what happened to the last 360 launch title I covered on this channel. Fuck this game! Ah! So as is the case for any franchise, upgrading to the next level of system capabilities is always rough, and I can guarantee it's no different here. Unfortunately, I no longer have my Xbox 360 version, because the only reason I even had it back in the day was to get all of the easy achievements. Got them all in a single sitting. So we'll be viewing the PS2 version today. It's irrelevant though, because minus graphical clarity, both are identical. So let's get creative. Creator skater options this year are a lot more specific to various styles, but it's still fine enough, especially with the returning iToy cameo feature. Seriously, this will never get old. So now that this glorious being is ready to skate, this is the part where I regret to inform you that making this was fucking pointless. Story mode forces you to start from scratch with a pre-made custom character, meaning this mode is worthless. I've still got memory cards from when I was younger, overflowing with custom skater files in every other game we've looked at up until this point. But not for this game, no. Anyway, let's just get stuck into the story. Right from the start, this game has a much grungier punk rock theme with the comic book style, and I've always loved it. Some great Xbox profile icons in here. It's a shame though, because it clashes so badly with the rest of the cutscenes, which, well, we'll get to that in good time. So the story this time around is that a default vessel of your choosing gets on a bus to Hollywood so that he can escape his terrible life and ride his skateboard. I'm sorry, but lazy runaway bum isn't exactly that relatable. When we get off the bus, we're mugged and then meet Mindy, who gets us started on our journey by getting a haircut. So I guess because Grand Theft Auto did it the previous year, it's the new hip trend to start your game with the most pointless bullshit possible. From here, Mindy launches us directly into the tutorial, and immediately, everything just feels off. The controls have been changed this time around. The entire thing is stiff to control, but floaty within the game world. It just doesn't feel right, and the characters in-game agree with me on that. Just look at these tutorials.
To revert, you go up a quarter pipe, and on the way down, do this. Watch. Now you give it a try.
Hey guys, check out this new trick I just learned. Pretty cool, huh? It's so bizarre, awkward, and just false. It leaves a bad taste in your mouth right from the start, and the entire game is like this. From here, we kill a bunch of people by demolishing a T-Rex. Yes, then make our way through to Beverly Hills and meet up with the rest of Mindy's gang, all who are unlikable and irritating beyond belief. We've been playing the game for maybe 15 minutes at this point, and I'm already sick of it. Just like the good old days. Is everyone using moon gravity cheats or something? I can't handle this. After learning the new moves such as wall running and wall flipping, we progress to meet a low-profile ex-pro skater named Iggy. Looking at the potential of his ranch, they decide to trick it out as the ultimate skate park, American Wasteland. So that's essentially the plot of the game. We travel around LA collecting pieces for the ranch by bringing down the city far more catastrophically than the big one ever could. Put simply, it's Thug 2, just isolated to a single city that fucking sucks. This isn't an open world, it's just a bunch of smaller locations connected together with empty loading hallways, so the entire marketing for this was a complete lie. As for the sections themselves, ignoring a few familiar locations ripped right out of previous games, they don't feel like Tony Hawk levels. Normally real world locations are converted into virtual skate parks with rails and pipes everywhere, but they totally dropped the ball here. Nothing feels exciting or creative about the terrain, and considering the entire point of the game is demolishing and stealing famous landmarks, that's a bad sign. The already bland environment gets brutally raped over the course of this game, leaving it feeling dead and empty by halfway. Here is the halfway point, by the way, still locked out of moves until you complete tutorials. It's just such a poor effort in level design and presentation overall. That's the problem with Wasteland. Everything just feels so deliberate. Entire sections of the map only exist for single one-off set pieces or ranch items, and new moves are so unimpressive and far too situational. Compared to reverts and combo runouts, hell, even freakouts let you start your next combo with some extra points, the additions here, aside from maybe the bank drop, offer nothing to the gameplay experience. And with every single objective requiring an explanation with in-game cutscenes for even the most simple of tasks we've been doing all game, it slows the pace down to a crawl. So with all of those issues combined together, the entire thing is a boring, uninteresting, almost unskateable Tony Hawk game. But as they say in game development, if your main gimmick is a pile of dog shit, then add terrible vehicles. That'll fix it. THAW introduces BMXing to the series and... I mean, it does work okay. The controls are different so it can be a little finicky, but it works I guess. It's just unnecessary though. I normally forget that it's even an option until I get roadblocked towards the end of the game because I didn't do all of the fucking tutorials for it. So as soon as I do them and pass the test, job done. Put the thing away because you won't be needing it. Thank God. This entire thing is just a waste, and it's so unfortunate. Even though the plot is more out there than the previous games, it's still enjoyable and creative enough. The main plot points about redemption and discovering skating's roots is a really neat, interesting idea, but then when you put that heartfelt, deep and meaningful stuff next to dressing up as an alien to scare some carnival guy, learning different graffiti styles to gain entry into a Mexican gang, blowing up the fucking Hollywood sign for the ranch, and my biggest piss off, completing numerous fucking turret sections in a goddamn skateboarding game, any potential good work that could have been done is automatically fucked over. And the most discouraging part is that collecting everything and building American Wasteland, it's not even that good. It looks great, but it's nothing more than an architectural wank. Form over function. It's like they thought up all these cool, creative set pieces and then just slapped them all together with no rhyme or reason, ending the entire thing on such a sour, sour end. But at least there's more to do, right? How about create a goal? Nope, gone. All the hype of this fake open world, I was so excited to create goals in it when I was younger, creating skate and combo lines across a sprawling city, but instead, not only was the mode left out, the sprawling city itself was too. So I turned to create a park mode. And it's a fucking disgrace. It's identical to that of Underground 2. The same objects, the same environments, and all that was added is an aircraft carrier backdrop and a goddamn Jeep. If I'd paid for that product placement, I'd be fucking livid. With no purpose to create a skater, create a graphic already being pointless, and a creator park effort so pathetic it makes Pro Skater 2 deserving of godlike worship, create a trick is the only customization mode here of value. For the first time, we can now create grind and manual tricks. It's cool, but not enough to justify the loss and lack in quality of everything else. And the only other thing left to look at is classic mode. Okay, I'll start with the positives. Missing out on the handheld variants of the series growing up, it was exciting playing through this mode for the first time and experiencing some unfamiliar levels. Santa Monica and Kyoto from Underground 2 Remix are decent levels, and the returning classics are all good choices in my opinion. But that's where the good stops. Why is the mode so short? There are only 6 levels here. What a joke! Apparently the PS2 Collector's Edition includes 2 extra levels that I didn't even know existed until now, but that's still unacceptable, coming off of a whopping 14 levels and almost 3 hours of gameplay as a veteran player. Why weren't the sections of the primary map included here?
I'll tell you why. Because they're terrible Tony Hawk levels, that's fucking why.
So only a year after its debut, Classic Mode is out of life. I had the entire thing beaten 100% in less than an hour. What a sad time to be a fan of the series. Even Free Skate suffers because you're restricted back to the individual level format. Now, along with Classic Mode taking a back seat, the Creation Suite shitting the bed, and the main story mode having more holes than it's got phony fourth wall breaks to fill, this entire game is just a damn shame in my mind. I've never been the biggest fan of this title from day one, but simply being such a huge fan of this franchise and spending my earlier years starting out video production around this game, my memory had been tinted with nostalgia. So playing through and experiencing this properly for the first time in years really opened my eyes to the mediocrity that has always been there. So with that said, Tony Hawk's American Wasteland gets 4 out of 10. I hadn't planned on going that low, but this game was a rushed, forced out disaster that even the dumb little kid from bumfucking nowhere knew that things were going downhill fast. I'm sorry but not sorry to all of the fans of this game out there, including ex-IGN critic Mr. Chris Roper, who apparently praised Neversoft's decision to go back to its roots and make a game about skating, as opposed to the chaos and destruction of the Underground games.
You, sir, win the award for dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Because not only does this game feature more destruction than either Underground title, but it also served as the starting point for the ultimate destruction of a once unstoppable franchise. Of course, you couldn't have known that in 2005, but the point is still blatantly incorrect. Don't support industry critics, ladies and gentlemen. Support the independent critics who cut the bullshit and tell you how it is. And until next time, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share. I'm Square Eye Jack, and I hope you have a great fucking day. Thanks for watching.